Hi, I'm Bob Jensen. This is Fishing the Midwest. Thanks for stopping by. You know, some baits were designed mostly for ice fishing, but some of those baits do a really good job in the open water. We're going to start out today using an ice fishing bait, a puppet minnow, in open water for walleyes. After that, we're going ice fishing for bluegills. First though, it's walleyes in South Dakota, open water, using an ice fishing bait. Take a look at this. Some baits were made with open water fishing in mind. Other baits were designed for ice fishing. And some baits were created for ice fishing, but also work very well for open water angling. The puppet minnow from Northland Fishing Tackle is one of those baits. I've been using puppet minnows in open water for the past 3 years, mostly in the fall when the walleyes were schooled up in deeper water. Last fall, my friends Joe Honer, Joe's an outstanding fishing and hunting guide in northeast South Dakota, and Bill Leonard, he lives in the Iowa Great Lakes region and visits South Dakota frequently to fish and to harass Joe. And I got together for a morning of chasing walleyes. We chased them with puppet minnows, and not only did we chase, we caught. Here's how you can catch open water walleyes on a bait designed for ice fishing.
Net?
No, I can swing them. Real big one, he's right below the boat. You know, whenever we see them on the depth finder, they eat that thing. Just can't help it.
Fish on! Casting the puppet minnow by Big Eddie. Casting a puppet minnow and smacking walleyes.
Size, Bill?
Nope.
Yeah, that's an eater though. He'll fit in a fry pan, really nice.
Small fry pan.
Here's what we're doing. When we can see fish directly below the boat on the depth finder, we're vertically jigging the puppet minnow straight down below the boat. Pretty much whenever we saw fish in the sonar, we caught them. Whoa. Boy, you know, if you watch your depth finder, you can call the fish. You know when they're gonna bite. They just, if you see them on the depth finder, they just can't help themselves. They gotta bite. Just a nice eater, nothing wrong with that at all. Boy, these guys are really smacking that puppet minnow. The walleyes are just inhaling it. So why are you casting that, Bill?
Because you guys are vertically jigging it.
Is that it?
Cover a little more water.
Yep, water that we haven't fished. We know that there's walleyes all around here.
Right.
Now
this one would take a very small fry pan.
Very, very small fry pan. Joe explains when and why this style of bait is productive.
Yeah, it's a bait that stays horizontal, and especially in the spring and the fall when you got fish that are on smaller spots and grouped up. You stay right over the top of them and you don't have to move around too much.
Here's how we're working the puppet minnow directly below the boat. We're in about 14, 15, 16 feet of water. All we're doing is letting that bait straight down. Straight to the bottom. When your line goes slack, that means you're on the bottom, and you want to keep it right near the bottom. I'm using a pretty aggressive jigging motion. Keep that line over your finger. Hits the bottom, just bring it right back up. And when it hits the bottom, your line will go slack right there, and lift it back up. And when they whack it hard. And if your line doesn't hit the bottom and the slack goes into it, let a little more line out, and you're right there again. You lift the minnow up. When it falls back to the bottom, it glides in a semicircle. It kind of goes out looking for a walleye. When we can't see fish in the sonar, we're casting the puppet minnow out, letting it sink to the bottom, then using a lift drop retrieve. We're looking for fish, and we're finding them. Bill is mostly casting. Here's how he's working the bait. Bill, you're casting that puppet minnow. How come?
I just want to cover a little bit more water, and the bait itself,
How are you working it back to the boat then?
I'm just giving it short jerks. And the bait itself is lifting and dropping. And they're taking the bait on the drop.
Yep. And do you see the line move then, or how are you?
Yeah, you can. I'm fishing fire line, and you can feel the hit, and you can see the line jump.
Yep.
You'll never reach your full potential as a jig fisherman until you become a line watcher.
Yep. Well, as you can see, ice fishing baits work in open water for walleyes. When we come back, we'll catch some more walleyes on the puppet minnow. Stay tuned. These folks make the products that will help you catch more fish. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Gulp Alive, looks, feels, tastes alive. Abu Garcia, for life. Freybill, trusted gear since 1938. Welcome back to Fishing the Midwest. Let's get back out in the water and catch some more walleyes on an ice fishing bait.
It's a walleye gator. Vertical jigging them. Come here, Bruiser.
I wonder how.
Oh, he ate it all the way down, didn't he?
Right. He swallowed her. Right in the roof of the mouth.
He inhaled that thing. Joe, were you vertically jigging that straight up and down?
Yes, sir. Right in the roof of the mouth, he swallowed her up.
Whoa. He's got it all the way down too. When they hit these things, they just inhale them. Look at that, he's got that all the way down. Let's take a quick break from the fishing for some more puppet minnow ideas. Danny, you know, all of these baits were designed with ice fishing in mind, but this puppet minnow is kind of a hybrid, isn't it?
Yeah, the puppet minnow is actually a great lure for jigging both open water and hard water. It's got a aerodynamic design that kind of allows it to fall in a semicircle, creating a real great reaction strike from the fish.
And it's got 3 line attachments there. What's that about?
Yeah, the 3 line attachments kind of help. You can set it up in different, so it'll pull in different ways. If you hook it farther to the front, it's going to help for the finicky fish. If a cold front or something along those lines will move in, and it'll slow the action of the lure down.
And what about the belly hook there? Do you put anything on that?
Yeah, the belly hook works great to put a Gulp Alive minnow head on there for an extra attraction. It'll get that scent in the water and really stir them fish wild. The other great thing that the puppet minnow has, it has the holographic design that really gives it that bait fish look. The puppet minnow also has wide gap hooks that allow for a great quick hook set on the fish when you set the hook. The puppet minnow is great for open water and ice fishing. Stop by Cabela's and get a puppet minnow today.
Great stuff, Danny. Those Cabela's folks know the outdoors, and Joe Honer and Bill Leonard know their fishing. Ooh, here we're on some perch now, I think. There's a bunch of them down there. Can you see them in your depth finder, Joe?
Yeah. There's something. A little heavy. Yeah. There it is.
Swing back, I'll take them off.
I get it.
Why do there have to be so many walleyes?
Yeah, they get in the way a lot of times.
You can fish the puppet minnow without bait, but tipping something onto the treble belly hook usually helps. I really like Gulp Alive minnow heads. They add smell and bulk. I like to attach the puppet minnow to my line with a snap swivel to prevent line twist. This bait has 3 different line attachment positions. Start with the middle one and experiment from there. I'm using 8-pound test nanofill line. It's super sensitive and it spools off the reel so nicely that bait gets right down to the bottom quickly. I'm fishing it on an Abu Garcia Revo spinning reel on a Vendetta rod. Any mid-size Abu Garcia or Fluger spinning reel will do a good job. With nanofill or Fireline, a softer action rod will be good. Maybe a 6-foot, 6-inch medium action. That Vendetta rod from Abu Garcia is a heck of a value. Boy, it's a beautiful fall day, but ice fishing baits are catching the walleyes. When we come back, we'll catch some more. Stay tuned. The Fishing the Midwest fishing team uses and appreciates the efforts of these people. Evinrude, spend more time on the water. Northland Fishing Tackle, the fisherman's favorite. Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitters. Powerbait, fish bite and won't let go. Welcome back to Fishing the Midwest. Let's get back in the water. I like this kind of fishing. You know? I'm catching them good back here behind you guys. I got a chance, actually.
That's what you call backhanding.
I know. Back no. We're using different sizes and colors of puppet minnows, and the walleyes are hitting them all. The key is putting the bait in front of the fish. If the walleyes see it, they eat it. Big perch like puppet minnows too. What's that, Joe?
Nice perch.
Pretty good. Oh, pretty good size one. They'll hit that bait too.
Yeah, it was falling on a little treble hook.
Whacking that thing, just whacking it. Fell right out. Huh. What a good way to fish, and it's productive too. We didn't catch any big walleyes, but we got a bunch of 15 to 18 inchers that fought well and were fun. Next time you find the walleyes schooled up in deep water, try a puppet minnow. You'll find it to be a good bait to add to your walleye arsenal. And don't forget, it's also an outstanding ice fishing lure. If you'd like to get in on some fantastic ice fishing right now, or open water fishing later on, get in touch with Joe Honer. He's the best. Well, as you can see, ice fishing baits work in open water, but now let's put ice fishing baits to work through the ice. Here we go after some bluegills. From early ice to the end of the ice fishing season, big bluegills are fun to catch. And if you keep a couple things in mind, you can get in on the action. Tom Neustrom and Rob Hamling are guides in the area between Walker and Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Here are their suggestions for icing big gills. Ooh, big gill. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, man. Whoa. Look at this guy, Rob. Whoa.
That's a nice one, Bob.
Look at there. Jeepers.
And a lot of times, Bob, when you get one like that, the school will move in and you can get several fish back to back. It usually gets pretty good. When one move in, it seems like it keys the rest to feed. And that works real good.
That's just small mouth. That is really a big one. That's a nice bluegill. Then it was Rob's turn to catch one.
Oh, here's a nice gill.
Oh boy, that is a nice one. How big is that one, Rob?
This one's probably about an 8-incher.
And we're catching crappies in the same area.
Yes.
Crappies have a big mouth.
Yep.
Bluegills have a small mouth. When you're fishing the same fish in the same area, do you go with a bigger bait or smaller bait, or what do you do?
I preferred myself to use a smaller bait. Even though the crappies' mouths are bigger, I think they feed on a lot of the smaller plankton kind of things in the lake. So I think this time of the year they're used to eat small things.
Yep.
So I like to use a smaller bait when I'm fishing both.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a nice bluegill.
Boy, was he up off the bottom, or where was he?
Yep, he was up off the bottom. He came up about 2 feet to hit it. So yeah, nice fish.
You got a gill too, Rob?
Yeah, I do.
Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, that's a nice. These are nice gills.
Beauty. Boy, these are nice gills.
Those are nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Cheap.
Real pretty fish. Iridescent colors in the sunlight.
Yeah. You know, Rob, you can always tell when they get a little bit bigger like that, they get that kind of curvature below the chin, and they get kind of a lump on top of their head besides the length, but you can always see them. They got that nice thickness to them, you know.
Yeah.
These are great gills, beauties.
Yeah, and the one thing about these fish too, they're not only pretty fish, but they make excellent table fare. They're great eating fish.
Oh yeah.
That guy would fill a plate, wouldn't he?
Yeah, yep.
Rob has the hot hole.
What you got the hot hole
here's
out there,
another
Bob?
Nicer bluegill here. Oh, that's a real nice one, Bob.
That is a real nice one. He does have the hot hole, Tom.
Well, that figures.
Yeah, this is a real nice fish.
These are some big bluegills we're catching today. When we come back, we'll catch some more. Stay tuned. For more fishing success, check out these outstanding products. WalleyeCentral.com. More walleye information than you can handle. Trilene. Anglers trust Berkeley Trilene. Growth Energy. America's ethanol supporters. Nanofill. The next generation in fishing line. It's ice fishing season right now. If you apply the things we're talking about, you'll catch more fish through the ice. Let's get back out there.
Another nice bluegill, Bob.
Oh, look at that one.
Pretty colors to
Nice
this
fish. Nice one, Rob.
Nice fish, Tom, huh?
You bet.
Tom, you know, it seems like we're out here and we can see them and they don't bite, and then there's a flurry. You know, they just turn on really big time. Yep. What's that about?
You know, I think those little perch come up and those bluegills have to chase them away, otherwise they can't get at the bait, you know, and I think that they come and they go and they come and they go, and I think that's just the whole thing right now.
We're using a variety of baits today. Northland's Gill Getter, tipped with a gulp, waxy, or maggot, did a very good job for us, but if you want to catch gills, especially when the bite's tough, you've got to get some of the new Hard Rock Musket jigs. These are tiny little jigs, but they're made of tungsten, so they fish heavy. The Muskas are bluegill killers. More and more, ice anglers are tipping their jigs with gulp baits like maggots and waxies. They're just easier to work with, and the fish like them as well as live. Light line is a big help when chasing bluegills with small baits. Something like 3-pound test Trilene cold weather line does a great job.
Yeah, there's a better one, Rob.
Oh yeah, that's a nice fish.
Yeah, I think it's a male. You know, different color, a little more drabber, but pretty fish though.
That is really nice. Tom, when you're ice fishing, how important is that depth finder to you?
Oh, big time. I mean, you know, the thing is you can identify the fish so well, you know, and you can see your bait and having a fish. It's, you know, Bob, it's like Pac-Man. I mean, from years ago, you know. Well, Pac-Man was, you know, this thing that comes up and chases. It was a video game, and I always think about that a little bit. That we can drop the bait down, we can get it to the fish, we can put it in front of them, and sometimes we can bring the bait up and really kind of, you know, just entice that fish to bite. And when they come up after the bait, then they usually eat it. So it's, I think it's real important. There you go, big guy.
Okay, so, I mean, that depth finder can help you indicate the mood of the fish, doesn't it?
You know, Bob, you can drop the bait to the fish, but then also you can bring it up above them a little bit. Sometimes you need to entice them a little bit, you know. They don't always come and grab the bait. Sometimes you got to lift it up a little bit and kind of make them strike. But like without the electronics, you wouldn't know the position of the fish.
Yep. And typically, it's pretty important to keep the bait above the fish.
Usually, Bob, they're not going to, if you go beyond them, if you drop it below them, they're not going to chase it down. You got to stay up above them, you know, and that's the whole key thing. You know, you can get them to come up after the bait, but if you drop it below them, they very seldom will ever go after it.
Well, they can see up better than they can see down. They're just built that way.
That's exactly the position of the eyes, you know, where they're always looking up or straight ahead, but they're not looking down.
Yeah. Sonar is certainly important. It's also critical to keep moving. We typically pop a bunch of holes, then keep moving until a hot hole is discovered. That Fraybill Commando that I use is perfect for moving around and also is really comfortable to fish out of. As much as possible, I like to use it as a windbreak, but kept open so I'm still exposed to the outside. I just think I can keep tabs on my fishing partners better that way.
Not a monster, but oh, crappie. A bonus crappie for the day. Not Not a monster, but fun to catch nonetheless.
Vapors, Rob is on him, Tom. What's the deal with that?
Get him out of the transducer. Oh, another.
Wow, look at that.
Another nice gill.
Yep.
Beautiful colors, orange on the underside of the jaw. Real pretty fish.
This bluegill action gets better as the ice fishing season progresses. Late ice can provide some outstanding gill fishing. If you'd like to give it a try, get in touch with Tom or Rob. And if you need lodging, get in touch with the Chase on the lake in Walker. The Chase is right on the shores of Leech Lake. The accommodations are outstanding, and so is the food in the restaurant at the Chase. Bluegills and ice fishing are going on right now and will continue to happen for several weeks in the northern regions of the Midwest. Give them a go. Across the entire Midwest, if there's ice, you can catch bluegills using the techniques we just talked about. And wherever you live, you can use ice fishing baits like the puppet minnow to catch fish in open water. Hey, for all of us at Fishing the Midwest, thanks for stopping by. Be nice to one another. We'll see you again next time.
All right, guys, gotta go home.